Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Stress Busters, 5 of 5, the last one that I'm doing. I'm live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I've been doing 5 short episodes during the month of April to help people with stress because it is in the UK Stress Awareness Month. And stress, as the World Health Organization said a few years ago, is the health epidemic of the 21st century. And that was pre-COVID, so I'm pretty sure during COVID it got even worse. And post-COVID, we are dealing with a lot of problems from the fallout of that, which is also causing a lot more distress for people. So stress is no joke. I did it in my first episode 1, which you can go back and find on whichever platform you are watching. I did actually talk about the fact that not all stress is bad. We're not saying that we should all be chill and relax and calm all the time and should never feel any tension, because some tension is creative. Some types of tension are really, really good for us. But what most people are experiencing in their daily lives is distress, what I call destructive tension. You can go back and watch that video if you want to learn more about that. And that's the one that unfortunately causes mental and physical illness. It's not that you just don't feel good for a bit, it's actually destroying you, which is sad to say, but it's true. And so that's why we really need to have a look at it and come up with ways to deal with our distress more effectively. So I've been covering a number of tools. The theme of my live streams and my tools and tips is that it's very practical, it's very simple. If you watch all of them, you will see that the tips and tools that I'm sharing with you, which are things that I use in my own life as well, are very simple. They're not complex. It's not talking to you about going through deep therapy for months and years on end. I'm not saying that you don't need that. I should also say that everything I teach is for educational purposes, that I'm not clinically trained. So I'm not replacing any kind of medical consultation or treatment that you may need. But I'm giving you practical tips of how to get up each day and navigate this complex world. The world is VUCA. That means it's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So the world is VUCA, and it's hard. It is tough. And people can get really, really overwhelmed, and they start to get very, very distressed because they're struggling to handle all the challenges of the complex world that we live in. So as I say, the tips I've been sharing are very practical and very simple, and things you can implement in each moment, in each day, to manage your own distress and make yourself healthier, more well, more productive, more efficient, more effective, more happy. And as I say, these are things that I live and breathe. As with all my teachings, I share things that I actually implement in my own life. So the topic of today is energy is currency. So my quote that I share that came to me one day is that energy is the currency of your life. Spend it where you get a return on investment. Oh, hello. I'm just looking on Instagram. I have a hello here. Oh, thank you, darling. Nice to see you. Kel, I haven't seen for a little while. Thank you so much for joining. So yeah, we're talking about energy. We all know about it. Kel knows about energy. Energy is the currency of your life. Everything is energy. If you look at quantum physics, it will tell you that. If you look at ancient spiritual teachings, it will tell you that. Everything is energy. And what most of us do when we're not conscious and aware is we wake up each day and then we just leak our energy into whatever grabs our attention in any given moment. We go on the news and we see all the negative things coming up, and then we start thinking about them, talking about them, complaining about them. Then we get a phone call from someone who wants to talk to us for an hour about something in which we may not have time for or interest in, but we sit there on the phone and we give energy to that. Then we go into our jobs and we just start doing whatever, and we're very reactive, right? We spend our energy based on what the external world is telling us we should be focused on and drags us around. And it's very, very dysfunctional, and it's not your most effective way to live. And oh, nice to see you too, lovely. So essentially, managing your energy is key for dealing with distress. So the tip that I was going to give to you today was really about your spheres of control and influence. This is something that all people who build resilience, wellness, and have much more success in their lives, this is what they do, is managing your control spheres. So control the controllables. Because a lot of people, as I said, you're just shoving your energy everywhere. You wake up and everyone wants a piece of you, and you're giving energy. And so you've woken up with this much energy, and slowly but surely you leak it, you leak it, you leak it. You give it to things that don't help you, that you can't control, that you can't influence. And then by the end of the day, you're all depleted. And when that happens over and over again, you then get burnt out and you're suffering and so on. So it's a very, very big cause of distress. And the world we live in is always trying to take our energy. The social media, we're so connected. We've got loads of people in our lives, the emails, the phones pinging, the whatever, whatever, whatever. So many things are taking our energy, but energy is your currency. And if you don't manage it wisely, you waste it, you deplete it, and you spend it on things that you cannot control or influence. So, for example, maybe you're worrying about what other people think about you, but you can't control that. Maybe you're worrying about the government and the economy, but you can't control that. But every bit of energy you give to something that you have no control or influence over is not only wasted, but it gives you no return. It doesn't fill you up, it just takes from you. And that is when we get depleted and distressed. So what we need to do is start looking at where we're spending our energy. So I have a very simple tool that you can do in your life. As I said, all my tips are simple. It's a rocket. The most basic things can help us in life. Often we think, oh, life is complex and humans are complex. We are. And there's layers to this, but the reality is that most of the things that will help you have a more effective, healthy, productive, happy, successful life, a lot of them are just basics and simple. They're not complex. I'm not saying you need a year of therapy. If you need that, go get that. But actually what I'm saying here is that there's a lot of very, very simple things that you can do. We've got a little comment here from LinkedIn from Anantha. Hello, Anantha. He said, of course. I don't know what that was to. Sorry, I might have been a bit delayed on that comment, but thank you so much for joining. It's really, really good to have you here. So here's my tool, my darlings. Very, very simple. If you want to manage your spheres of control, manage your energy. Instead of waking up and leaking it, oh, I've got to give energy to that. And when I say give energy, it could be thinking about something, it could be talking about something, it could be spending money and time on something, it could be energy in terms of taking real physical actions on things. Anytime you're giving from yourself, you are giving energy. And anything that's not giving back to you is just depleting you. So what you do, and you can do this on anything, you can do this for your whole life, you can do it for a project, you can do it for a relationship, even a meeting that you might be going into, is you map your spheres of control and influence. So all you do is draw 3 little circles like this on a page, and in the middle is the things that you can control. And you're going to write out in there, what can you actually control? And be a little bit strict with yourself, by the way, because some people will think they can control things they can't. I've had people on my training saying that they can control, they're trying to control people's opinions of them and how they behave. And it's like, you actually can't control other people, by the way. And if you try to, you're wasting your energy, and then you get distressed and you get burnt out and your cup ends up empty because you're trying to control something that you cannot. So in the center, what can I control? So let's think about that. What can I control about this live stream? I can control showing up on time. I can control getting my technology ready. I can control the fact that I'm here and I'm giving and I'm sharing and I'm doing my best. I can control what I talk about. I can control the topic I chose. I can control to be on time. I can control that stuff. The next circle is what can I influence? And in here you write, what can I influence? So what can I influence? I can, to a degree, influence people who are watching, whether you watch live or later, because that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching, and the nature of teaching is to influence people's thinking. I can influence that. What else can I really influence? So when I think about influencing, it's like I can press a few buttons here and there. I can make a few nudges here and there. What comes of that, I don't know. But I can at least try and have some kind of influence, agency, and impact. So what can I influence right now? I can influence you with some of my thoughts and my tools and my life experiences that I'm sharing. What can I not control? That's the one you put in the outer circle. You write in here, what can I not control? I cannot control what you do with the information I give you. I cannot control if you implement it. I cannot control if you like me, if you give this a thumbs up. Maybe I can influence you by asking you, but I cannot control whether or not you do it. I cannot control how you feel about me. You may dislike me thoroughly, you may love me. Either way, I can't control that. I can't control if the internet goes bad. I can influence it by making sure I've got my stuff set up, but I can't control it. Something might go wrong. So in the spheres of what you can't control, map it out. And then here's what you do, my loves. Let those things go. If I sat here and was just worried about what do you think of me? What do you think of me? How do I control what you think of me? How do I control your opinion and your experience of me? How do I make you like me? How do I control you? I wouldn't be present, and I'd be miserable and distressed and incredibly dysfunctional. But a lot of us live our lives like that, trying to control the world around us, what other people think and do. We can't. And you, if you want to be powerful and healthy and well and creative in your life, must, my sweet souls, be willing to surrender that control. You must be willing to let go. Kel says, I love you. I love you too. And I love your message. Thank you, my sweet soul. I appreciate you. Got some comments here on LinkedIn as well. What have we got here from Anantha? He says, yes, we can't control, but you're a great teacher. Thank you very much. I do my best. He says, you're funny and awesome. Bless you. That's so kind. I do my best. But like you say, I'm just showing up. What can I control? I can just control being me. And look, some things might go wrong. So I don't know. I can't control everything. So here it is, right? You got your spheres of influence, your spheres of control, and then what you can't control. And the thing is, your energy, the more you leak it outside to things you can't control, the more you're wasting, depleting the currency of your life. So my message here, my darlings, bring it back. Bring your power back, okay? I'm looking at, the government, the economy, there's wars, there's this, there's that. Some guy on some other side of the planet did this. I'm not saying they didn't do it. I'm not saying that you disagree with it, don't like it. I'm not saying there's not bad stuff going on in the world. But you must ask yourself, me as a being here on this planet, can I influence that? Maybe you can. Maybe you work for some government organization that gets to push some buttons over there. Cool. Then for you, that's in your spheres of influence and control. But for me, it's not. So I'm going to bring my power back here and use my money, my currency, my energy where it gets me a return. And that builds your confidence, it builds your results, and it gets you into a really powerful cycle of managing your own energy. Multitasking like a boss. I try. But it's, it's something that you have to be conscious. Everything I teach is about becoming conscious of yourself and doing things consciously, not unconsciously. When we're distressed and stressed, we become unconscious and we just do all these dysfunctional things that don't help us. So become conscious. Take a moment. I did a few tools the other days that you can do about mapping your juggle map, things that you're juggling in your life, but you can map your spheres of control each day. What can I control in my day ahead? Well, I'm going into a tough meeting. What can I control? Get it right first here before you move into the world. Life is, I'd say, 80% consciousness, 20% physical action. So focus, get your consciousness right, get your mind right, get your focus right, bring it back from all the noise of the world that you can't influence, can't control. Bring it back here, take your power here, and then start to spend it more wisely. Anantha says something interesting here. He says, you're absolutely right, but we need to lose the illusion of control. Oh, he wants to go deep. I wasn't planning to go deep because I was playing a little bit on the surface today, but I love the fact that, do you really have control of anything? Ask yourself, are you willing? It's only our egoic mind that wants to control. Ask yourself, really, what do you have control over? Other than even control, the word control, what does that bring up for you? When I think about control, see, for me, control, actually, I mean, we're going to a level I wasn't planning to, but I'm going there because Anantha brought it up and I love this stuff. So really it's like imagine for yourself now there's a sphere around you, and in this circle it's like you in control. What is the energy of that? So for me, control from a low state really is like desperation, fear. That's why a lot of us want to control things, because we feel unsafe, we feel fear, and we don't feel like we don't trust. We don't trust ourselves, we don't trust the world, we don't trust the universe. So we must take control. But is control really that? Control to me, from a higher state, from an empowered state, is really about discipline, wisdom, knowing that at some point I'm going to die. And here in this life, I have a certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy each day. And so I'm going to be disciplined with it. I'm going to put it into things I love. I'm going to put it into things that I can influence and affect. I'm going to put it into things that are true for me, not the gossip, the noise, the drama, the stuff that's going on, the stuff that the news and the social media wants to take your energy. Everything out there wants to take your energy into things that do not serve you for the most part. And you have to choose to take it back. So bring back your spheres of control, your spheres of influence, your spheres of discipline, your spheres of discernment. Value yourself, value your energy and your time. Value it and don't waste it, because it is valuable. And it takes time, right? It takes time. I've had to practice this. I used to get very caught up in, oh, what's going on in the world? What are these people doing? Oh, they do. And I just realized all it was doing was making me more distressed, because it was giving me no return on my energetic investment, because I had no control or influence over there. And I had to learn. It took me quite a few months every day to draw back. When I found myself scrolling, oh, this person's saying that, oh, this person, oh, that's on the news, stop, put it down, bring my energy back here. What's important to me right now? What can I control and influence in my life? Where am I going to get a return on my investment? And I had to do it often. I still have to do it now. Like I said, map your spheres of control in any situation. If I'm about to go and have a client meeting, if I'm about to have a family gathering even, and if it brings up stuff, map your spheres of control. This is a daily tool, a life tool to keep bringing your power back. Spend your energy wisely. And now I'm much better at it. And the more you practice, the more it becomes habitual. So then it's quite easy to just in any given moment realize, hang on, I'm going somewhere in my mind to things I can't control or influence. I choose to come back here and focus on what I can. It's all up here. This is your power. This is your power. Bring it all back. And most people don't do that because we're not taught to, right? Running around, wasting, depleting, and then you wonder why you're burnt out, and then you don't have the life you love because you just wasted all your energy that could be put into creating what you love into putting into all sorts of nonsense in this very volatile, complex information overload world. Another comment from Anantha here. He says, once one of my students said to me that he's going crazy because of his job. He had a great job, but he never valued himself. And then he says, and then I bought him a strawberry shake. What? I don't get it, but I love it. Maybe that's the solution to everything. Have a strawberry shake. Oh, I love that though. Thank you, lovely. It's, it is, you don't value yourself, you go crazy. It's an inside job, and it's a personal job. What's going on inside you is not exactly the same as what's going on inside someone else. And get self-aware. Get self-aware about what's going on, and it is an inside job. Everything I've been sharing with you over the last few days, understanding that not all stress is bad. Some stress is creative and expansive, some stress is distress and just shuts you down. The second one we did, the tip was present moment, being in the present moment and realizing that's all there really is, and then just taking your next step, your next step, your next obvious step. That's all you do. Stop running away into the future and worrying what's going to happen. Bring your power back here into the present moment. The next one we looked at, I think, was juggling. So you're juggling a lot in the complex world. Again, get clear on yourself. What am I juggling? What do I need to be juggling? Is this all nonsense? Can I cut some stuff out? And then yesterday we spoke about the power of the pen. If you see around me, I have lots of things and post-its and plans. This is how I now live my days, because it's giving me a lot more focus and productivity, and it's reduced a lot of my stress rather than having all the noise in my head of all the things I've got to do. Simple stuff, but it's about me here and how I operate in the world that makes me less stressed and makes me more productive, more functional, more happy, more healthy. No one out there changed. All the tools I gave you were for you, because you can't change all the stuff out there. Maybe you can do some things, depends on your job, right? You might be influencing a company and creating a new culture in a company. And so you have influence a bit out there too, right? But really my tips are about what can you do? Because the world is crazy. Life is hard. It's complex. It's noisy. There's a lot going on inside and outside. So how do you take your power back? That's what this is about. What can you do? And actually, it's simple things applied consistently over and over again. It's discipline. I used to have a really bad relationship with the word discipline, because my conditioning from childhood was that discipline was punishment. It was criticism. It was about the end result. And if you messed it up, you'd get punished. And it was shame, and it was control, and it was fear. So that's what I used to think discipline was. Now I have a much healthier relationship to discipline. Discipline is nurture, focus. If I want a plant to grow, I need the discipline to water it each day, to check the soil, to make sure it's got the right sunlight, so on, so on, so on. So that's discipline is a beautiful thing that allows us to flourish in our lives. So have discipline in your life, such as by managing your spheres of control, and you will reduce your stresses. So I've gone on for a little while now. I had a 20-minute deadline target on these, so I'm about 20 minutes, so I will close, but I hope this has given you something to think about. A couple more comments from Anantha. He says, we need to do yoga and chakra control to de-stress ourselves. If that works for you, absolutely, go for it. Find the things that work for you. There's so much wisdom, a lot of ancient wisdom. Yoga, these are ancient teachings that are based on a lot of wisdom that can really help us. And to close, Anantha says we don't really control anything. I mean, I agree with that. We could talk about that for a long time. You know, there's so many angles to that. But being able to surrender to life. Do what you can do and let the rest go. Take your action and let the cards fall where they may. That is really, I think, a very, very wise way to live. Anantha has no stress, he says. So clearly whatever he's doing is working. So let's all take the tips from Anantha in the chat because it's obviously working. Great. Thank you, Anantha. I'm going to sign out now. Thank you, everyone, for joining either live or later. I've loved your conversation and your comments, Anantha. Thank you so much. It really, really brought a lot of light to me today as well. Thank you, Kel. It was gorgeous to see you as well. Absolutely love to have you here. So have a think about that. Map your spheres of control. Pull your energy back to here. What can I control? What can I influence? Let the rest go. Practice this every day, every moment. Make it part of your habitual way of thinking. Reshape your consciousness to look at the world in that way, to navigate life in that way. And you will slowly but surely start to realize that a lot of your distress can dissipate when you start to control the controllables and let everything else go. Thank you, Anantha, for being here. Take good care, everybody. That's my last live stream on Stress Busters. You can go back and watch the others on my platforms. And maybe I'll do some more live streams at some point. I love doing this. I didn't do many for quite a long time, but we'll have a think about that. Thank you and take good care. And I will speak to you again at some point. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful rest of your day.